The OECD has published its interim report on the world economic growth rate. It revises down its growth outlook for the global economy next year, mainly due to countries' tightening policies to fight inflation and China's economic woes. But it upgrades the Korean economy's projected growth in 2024. Our Ahn Sung-jin has the details.
With a drop in consumer sentiment and a weakened rebound effect from China, the OECD has lowered the global economic growth rate for 2024 from 2.9% in June's report to 2.7%. In the OECD's interim economic outlook report released on Tuesday, the economic outlook for this year has projected some optimism since June's report, as countries such as the US, Japan, and Brazil displayed stronger than expected growth throughout the first half of the year. The world economy is expected to grow by 3% in 2023 before dropping to 2.7% in 2024. This rate has been further revised from June's projection of 2.9%. The OECD forecasted that growth projection is expected to remain low under tighter monetary policies. This is largely attributed to persistent core inflation, a sharper than expected slowdown in China, and increased volatility in the raw materials market, all of which pose a downward risk. World economies have been adjusting to the dropping growth rate as monetary policies become stricter with increased interest rates for new corporate and mortgage loans and rising debt. The OECD presented 3 suggestions for governments, including restrictive monetary policies for moderating inflationary pressures, fiscal policies that match spending pressures, and lowering trade restrictions. Meanwhile, South Korea has maintained its growth rate from June's report. The country's growth rate is projected as 1.5% in 2023 and 2.1% in 2024. The OECD mentioned that additional spending on the aging population also adds fiscal pressure on governments. As an aging country itself, South Korea will also need to build structural policy measures to ensure growth prospects. Ahn Sung-jin, Arirang News.